Welcome to the last of the 3 videos of the preparations for the Scientific Python course at TU Braunschweig. I'm Felix. I will be hosting you for the first 2 days. In the last 2 videos, we first installed Python and then we installed Visual Studio Code. This video will be on some tips on what you can do before the start of the course in order to be well prepared. For the first tips, we are back at the VS Code session we left off in the last video. We have the little script we wrote, and then down here we have the terminal. And recall, whenever you want to use Python in the terminal here, you have to activate your conda session. So conda activate Python course so that you can access the environment. And then I would advise you to use the interactive Python session and one particular more advanced one, which is called IPython. And then you can just play around a little bit. You can print something, for instance, print hello world. You can assign some variables and look at what Python does. If you just take out these, you can use, for instance, the help command in order to access the documentation of certain functionalities, and then use Q in order to exit it again. Spend some time with it, get familiar with this interactive Python session. In this context, you could also try to write it in the script and then see what happens if you execute it. You could also execute it out of the terminal, such that you feel comfortable when using Visual Studio Code in the course later. My second tip is for those who haven't programmed in a long time or who have only little exposure to high-level programming languages like Python is. If you have done a lot in MATLAB or Julia or similar languages, then you're probably mostly fine. But here this might be a good place to maybe refresh some basic concepts. This particular tutorial is from W3 Schools. I can highly recommend. You can find it by Googling for it. The first day of the Python course will consist of approximately 1 hour of syntax refreshing, such that we go over the basic concepts, and it might be nice to already have some basic understanding of it in order to follow along quickly. Here I would advise you, if you want to go over this, to go all the way to lambdas. The stuff below is a little bit more advanced and we will cover it anyways in the course. This is sufficient to go over the basics of Python. My last tip is to start Pythonizing your life. So for instance, if you have to do some simple calculations, instead of opening a calculator, open up a Python session and then just type in your calculation there, such that you always have some exposure to Python, which will also help you to learn Python and to get proficient at it, similar to what you would do if you also learn a new spoken language. And with this, the 3-part mini-series is concluded. Please also use the comment section here to share some advices regarding learning Python and maybe also links that you find helpful for people to look at prior to the course. If you use the first 2 videos to install Python and VS Code, you're well prepared for the Scientific Python course, and we are happy to host you for the 3 days and looking forward to your attendance. I'm pretty sure you will learn a lot of new things and will see Python as an extremely useful language that can be helpful for your academic, professional, and also personal life. With this, see you in October.